zoning, zoning. I be zoning out, zoning, zoning. I be zoning out, zoning, zoning. I be zoning out. Just thinking to myself like, what is life about? Zoning, zoning. I be zoning out, zoning, zoning. I be zoning out, zoning, zoning. I be zoning out. Mama told me mind my business, never run my mouth. See, when I'm zoning, I'm roaming, I'm in a different world, a different family and money, even a different girl. So what we plotting, right? So what's the move tonight? I'm always on my grind all the time, so let's do it right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Loyalty Game Podcast. I'm your host, E.
I'm your boy, Ellie.
You just tuned into the Loyalty Game Podcast. And today, man, we got a good topic here, man. You know, I got the fellas in here. You can see the nice setup. You know what I mean, season 4. But like, you know, before I jump into it, as I always like to say, you know, how has everybody been?
I'm been good. I can't complain. You already know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everything's a blessing. Everything's a blessing.
I'm chilling, man. I'm straight.
Feeling good,
man. Healthy.
That's what I like to hear, man. That's what I like to hear. How about them birds? You know what I
Let's
mean?
go. Let's go. Bird gang. You already
How about
know.
them birds?
Shit.
Hype.
We about to get it again.
It's a Philly thing.
We about to get it again, bro.
Yeah, twice in the last decade.
Right.
Like, you know how hard it is to get to the Super Bowl?
Facts.
It's hard.
Yeah. You know what? It's you know what it is? It's traumatizing to what's his name? Our old coach.
Andy Reid
It's
or
Reid.
Doug Peterson?
Reid is that's who got the Chiefs right now. Reid, right?
Yes, Reid.
Reid is having nightmares right now.
You think so?
I swear to God, he feels like we can't get rid of, like he can't get rid of us.
I mean, Reid.
You know what I mean?
Reid.
He can't get rid of the motherfucking Eagles. We haunting your ass, bro. He's having nightmares right now about us. Like these fucking Eagles again.
I mean, Reid been making it to the playoffs every year.
I mean, it's so many years he spent. So many years
That
he
nigga
spent
Reid
with
is
us Eagles being our coach. That you know what I mean.
But
I know he's got a sense of like he can't get rid of us. You know what I mean? Like damn.
He's been in Kansas City since
I'm about to say, yeah, he
True,
actually been doing better than us.
He's been longer with the Eagles though.
He has been. Yeah, he has been with the Eagles for a long
He's
time.
been longer
Since the 90s, I think.
No, it's the same tenure now.
Yeah, since the 90s.
It's with the. Oh, all right,
He got
bet.
even seasons with both teams.
Okay.
I think it was just more personal. With the
No,
Eagles.
I'm just gonna say, like we was dominant and you gotta understand something, all right? When you talk about the Philadelphia Eagles,
I don't think
we were one of the most dominant
I know for one
teams
thing,
in the
we in this
2000s.
nigga's nightmares for
Like,
sure.
We were one of the most dominant teams.
Are
in the
we more
2000s.
dominant than his Kansas City career though?
I wouldn't say that because
Exactly.
His
It
man,
was a struggle.
listen, you
It
gotta
was a
understand
struggle.
something.
Nah.
This man
It
hosted
wasn't
5. This man just hosted
He had
5
better
straight
players, bro.
AFC championships.
5 straight. Yeah.
It's hard to do that.
Yeah, it
He
is
didn't
hard.
do that here in Philly.
No, I mean I don't knock him for
I'm
shit.
not even gonna lie. You
I don't
gotta.
knock him for
When you
shit.
talking about,
But he tried to
he
leave
didn't.
from us
I'm
Eagles.
gonna tell you
That's
something.
what
He
I'm
did
saying.
have the better players, but he got the better quarterback now than what he had when he was
Yeah,
here.
I do.
He got the
agree.
I
baby
mean,
goat.
he did have
He got-
Tyreek Hill.
He got the baby goat.
He did have
He got
Tyreek
the
Hill
baby
though.
goat.
He got Pat
The
Mahomes.
baby
He
goat.
had
Baby goat.
Tyreek Hill. We're not going.
The
We're
baby
not
goat.
going.
He
The
had
baby
Tyreek.
goat got
He
a
don't
hurt
need
ankle
Tyreek Hill.
right there.
No, he don't. He
He don't
don't.
need
But
Tyreek
Tyreek Hill was a big help. You know, and then we actually really got to play that QB position. Oh, but we're not here to talk about that. That's a whole nother
He
episode.
don't need Tyreek Hill.
This episode we talking about the streets.
I'm sorry, man. We just got a little passionate.
No,
about
because
it.
I already know it's
We're-
Super Bowl.
We're about to be Super
Yeah, I
Bowl
mean,
champions.
it's all. I mean,
I mean,
we
we're
hype.
about to be
We
champions for sure.
The streets. You know, when I say them 2 words, what pops in your head? You know, when I say the streets, like what pops in your head when I say the streets?
What pops in my head when you say the streets?
Mhm.
Like when you know what I mean, a person of our culture say the streets. You
Like
know
if
what
I
mean?
said, tell me about the streets, like what would you tell me about?
It depends. It depends, like a part of the streets. Like, you know what I mean, what you want to know. Like the streets. Like the streets could be a lot of things, man. It could be good, it could be bad. You know what I'm saying? It could be a lot of things. The streets. It's a wide area. But you know, the streets to me would be like being in them streets, being, you know, in the trenches,
Yeah.
doing those street things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Meaning by street things is like, you know, being on your grind. You know, I'm not knocking nobody's hustle, but being on your grind by any means on whatever you may have to be pushing out there. You know what I mean? Or I don't know. Streets could also mean a certain crowd you with. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Elaborate.
Being in the streets could also mean like just being outside in general. Like,
I mean, that's what I said. Like when I say like the streets, like what pops in your head when I say the streets? Like,
I mean, for me, it's one or two things. It's either you in the game, you outside in the streets, you doing what you're doing.
Okay.
Or you just outside a lot. Like,
you just in them streets.
Right, you just in them streets. You just outside a lot. You just like being outside. You don't like being inside. You just in the streets.
You know what I mean? Being in the streets when I was growing up, in the streets ran for multiple things. And I loved to be in the streets because it was like one big playground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That we was always, my generation, we was in them streets for real. It's not like so much these generations in the crib because they with the old entertainment and all that
Social
stuff they
media
got.
and stuff like that,
Social media, the games. But we was like our type of entertainment was for real was in the streets.
What you mean though? Like,
You know what I mean?
I mean,
it ranges from all types
not
of shit.
technically. The only thing you can say that's different now is like social media. But other than that, there was game system back then.
Social
No,
media.
they
There
were,
were game systems back then that you could play.
It was
in
game
the house
system,
and
but
all
you
that.
wasn't
there were
game.
more activity, like as far as going a little further back when you're a little kid. There was more activities like playing games in the streets for real.
Yeah,
because that's what kind of got you involved in the streets was those games.
I mean, I grew up
playing
on
tag
that
and
too.
shit like that in the street
I
with
grew up
your
playing
boys.
tag, manhunt, all that.
You know what I mean? Always in the street with your boys, playing tag, end up hanging with a little clique around the corner from your house. And then next thing you know, y'all playing handball and basketball.
That's all I did.
And then your man's getting money on something. And you know what I mean? You end up going
That's
with that
all
whole
I did. Trust me.
street.
Trust and believe.
I guess lifestyle.
Listen, it got to the point where it was so many of us. We used to run 7-on-7s in football.
Yeah,
that's schoolyard.
That's what going back to
schoolyard.
Street. It was a variety shit, bro. Like we would go out there and play ball, play handball, whatever like that. And then next thing you know, sometimes there be times that we go to the strip and try to get this grip. You know what I mean? We go out there, you know what I mean, find out what the old heads is doing, and if you was the bright enough young bull or young bull that was staring enough that be there, you caught on. You know what I mean? You got something to be pushing out there. Now you making money. Then it turns into a whole different ballgame. Okay. Now you in the streets making this bread.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, from playing freeze tag and all that shit with them same balls, it trickles into the same. But y'all all always in the street. You know what I mean? The street. You know what I mean? It happens without you even knowing it. You start living the street lifestyle unbeknownst to you because you're always in the street doing them things. It started with, freeze tag.
Okay, so I mean, to me, when somebody say, tell me about the streets, the first thing that's gonna pop up in my head is just like forget about all of the childish shit.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's the like.
Let's get into like what the streets like what it is like when you actually out there on the streets, but it's not really like I don't want you to tell me like some drug story or whatever. I want you to tell me what really happened, and if that's what happened, like if you was getting into like
I'm gonna just say this,
running from the cops and all that.
Straight up,
let's hear it.
I'm saying it straight up. You in the streets,
No, but I'm saying
there's two things. Jail, right there.
Okay.
You basically signing your.
I'm saying it'll basically trigger into that. If you still hang with that type of crowd, but yeah, that's
that doesn't necessarily have to be the type of crowd.
The streets offer opportunity, man.
It doesn't necessarily have to be.
The streets build a person.
So let me tell you about when the streets popped in my head. I mean, as soon as somebody tell me about the streets, I'm thinking about the summertime when I was out there, with my people, with my cousins and my friends and all that on the block. Like I'm talking about, like everybody out there making money. We all, I ain't gonna say
hustling. Because hustling is not all street.
Hustling on the block. That's what I'm saying. Like
that's not all street. That's just hustling.
I'm just saying, like when somebody,
that's his definition.
When somebody say the street, this is what pops in my head. When somebody says, "Tell me about the street," we out there. Everybody out there. So I mean, it's love. It's love. I mean, everybody out there with their people. Everybody making money. It shifts on, moving what you moving. It shifts to everybody making money and. You just see crazy stuff. Depending on what you moving, what you touching, you seeing crazy stuff. My stuff was the dope. So when we seen dope heads offering crazy stuff for the dope. I give you my car keys for the day for a bag of dope. You're like, what? You gonna give me your car for the day for some dope? I give you my daughter for some dope. Like what?
I mean, they still do that now because like Justin Believe when I was,
But I'm just saying, like, these are the crazy things that I seen.
I had fiends
in
coming
the streets.
I had fiends coming up to me like, yo.
I mean, you definitely, if you evolved in the street long enough, I best believe you're gonna fall into the hustle part of it. You know what I mean? You're gonna eventually get caught up in that world of moving products and being with that type of lifestyle and the type of people that bring along with that.
I don't see what else is in the streets. Like, you know, I think everybody's parents told them it's nothing out there other than life or death. You know,
build you a different.
But what if you necessarily not out there for a long time, and the moment you get out there?
But what's positive in the streets? Is there anything positive in the streets?
That's what I'm saying. You could there's these great talented athletes that's in these streets, bro. You know what I mean? There's out there.
And when you say the streets, it's so negative, right? It's a negative thing when you say they in the streets. There's nothing positive coming like, I'm in the streets, but I came like something.
Incredible graffiti artists is in the streets. Streets is a whole culture.
But then again,
it depends what path.
But then again, graffiti is known as vandalism. So like, is it really positive?
Because I want to give y'all a street story, you know. And I mean, at the end of the day, this whole story is to motivate and to tell you, to basically keep you out the streets. You know, not to glorify, you know, the story and what happened.
I mean, to keep you out the streets in a negative way, because you can still be in the streets.
Definitely to keep you out the streets, because I don't find, like, when I say keep out, like, when people say they in the streets, there's nothing positive about being in the streets. Like,
I mean, yeah.
So, like, when you say the streets, is always something negative when somebody say they in these streets, because it's not, what's positive about being in the streets? There's nothing positive about being in the streets. I mean, point something out. Let me know if you can find something positive about being out here in these streets.
But then again, no. But then again, you ask the question, oh, where am I at? And what is this like? And somewhere else, like you, like, right? So here, nothing positive. I can tell you that. Okay. In Philly, nothing positive.
But I'm just talking about being in the streets.
It's just how the city. I don't know how. But like I'm saying, if you go somewhere to like LA or something, you go in the streets. There's plenty of things to do in the streets.
Whoa. LA. That's probably the worst place to be in the streets. That's gangs.
I can't tell you about LA.
That's gangs.
I ain't never been to LA. I don't know how LA streets are.
I'm talking about like if you go, you know, down Hollywood Boulevard, whatever the fuck they call that shit. Right. You know, with all these stores, you know.
But you out there trying to do something. I mean, like, just being like, when somebody say they in these streets, it's never nothing. Oh, I'm in these streets to
not for my experience. It was.
Have you ever heard anything positive about somebody saying I'm in these streets and I'm doing this? It's not like I don't. It's never nothing positive with somebody saying I'm in these streets.
In the streets, I fell directly straight into the hustle part of it. Yep. Like, I mean, we played our sports and games and got, try to build your name or whatever, because that's what it is. It's really finding your character out there and letting them know what type of person you is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're not just going to let nobody in certain things. But I definitely fell through the whole hustle part of that. I mean, because of my boys, they started doing it. They started grinding. So I'm like, listen, all right, Champions. You know what I mean? Especially when you was young. Back in my time, there was this arcade place called Champions. We always wanted to go Champions. We always wanted to look good. You know what I mean? Old head came down with a proposition on the block. We took it, ran with it.
I feel like that's every young
but that's what's part of the streets.
I'm not, see, what I don't know about a female standpoint, but as a young boy growing up in the streets, like you say, I feel like that's you want to be fly. Like, you want to go there. You want to go where it's popping at. You want to, you want to stand out, basically. You want, all right.
Yeah, you want to be different.
You want to be different. There's two different personas to tell guys. A man in the streets and then a man when you home. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a man in the streets is way different than a man.
If you in the streets, you're going to grow up real fucking quick. You know what I'm saying? You're going to grow up real fucking quick. If you in the streets,
you got this whole different character that your family don't even know, you know, that side of you exists. You know what I'm saying? When you home,
that way. If you in the streets, you're gonna be making some grown folk decisions.
Exactly.
ASAP.
Because everybody gonna treat you like you're grown.
Exactly. You ain't out there in the streets hanging out with with your mom and your dad. No, you hanging out with some OGs that they know you from the block. They know you from the streets. They don't know you that well. You don't know what you really getting yourself into.
Too. You know what I mean? If you had some OGs that put you on and really steered you, you know what I mean, try to really guide you through that whole street lifestyle and try not to listen, this is what you gotta do, this, that, third, for you not to get booked. You know what I mean? And if you get booked, this is what you gotta do. If you did get booked, you keep your mouth shut, you know what I mean? Do this, that, don't worry about it. We got you, we bail you out, whatever it is, just keep your mouth fucking shut. I mean, so you learn not to be a fucking snitch.
I mean, me, it was like
play a big key.
With me, it was like they told me. You know
now
what
you
saying?
talk about like when you grinding with these niggas. I mean, when you really get money in these blocks, and it comes to a block. Now, the whole street shit stopped. Now you block. Now you on the block with your boys. You know what I mean? Now you really getting this whole bread and you deep into some serious shit because you making real fucking grown folk decisions. You know what I mean? You got grown folk shit in your hand. Now you go out there, you know what I mean, play with grown folk fucking tools. Right. You know what I mean? So it's a whole different phenomenon and you grow up real fast out there.
I feel like
it either make you or break you.
I feel like a real OG is gonna tell you like this ain't for you, young boy.
I'm about to say a real OG would be like, nah.
Exactly.
Go home.
Exactly. And in my era, those real OGs that would tell you that. Like for real. Don't even come around here, young boy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Get your ass out of here. You know what I mean? Especially if you one of those young boys that your parents was always behind. Mm-hmm. Oh no, you can't be on the block. Your Mom Dukes is on your ass. Yeah. Get your ass around the corner, bro. I mean, Pop Dukes just holler.
That's how it was with me.
I mean, go over there. I don't Pop. I fuck with Pop Duke. Get over there. But
that's how.
And it was a lot of respect, though. It was a lot of respect when
it was like yo, I respect your Pop. I can't do that.
Exactly.
I respect your Pop.
I mean, we fuck around. Used to pay.
I did this.
I mean, we used to pay motherfucking bills off on the block. I mean, just because we used to. They know that they see us every day out there doing this shit. Like, we'll pay your phone bill for that much. I mean, your water bill for that much. We clean the whole block out. It was just a whole. I'm telling you, it's a different lifestyle, man. When you get caught up in that, and you just gotta follow it through. As long as you stick to the rules.
And it's crazy because you would think just like
you gonna be,
if you're gonna be out there, you sell your little stuff, whatever you sell, you get your money, you go home. So where do the drama come from? Like that's what you would think. Like we're like if we all just out here hustling, we all just trying to get our money. Like why are people getting killed? Like what's going on?
My time back when we was out there, a lot of the drama came from territorial.
Yeah,
it was territorial. It was like a lot of other block hating shit. You know what I mean? I even come from the era of posses. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? When there was a large ass clique of people.
I mean, 20, 30 people.
I'm about to say, shoot, but
you know what I'm saying? I come from back then.
But now, I feel like now it's like niggas hate too much now, bro. I just feel like now, like the world is in a different state than when it was back then. You know what I'm saying?
Way bigger state, yeah.
Back then, it wasn't really a lot of hate like going around. Like you said,
it was really
it was really beef because of territorial. So like, don't come to my side. You know what was we're not gonna come to your side. But if you do come to my side, it's
a lot of people stayed in their fucking place.
Now it's like
a lot of people stayed in their lane.
Yeah. But now what I'm trying to say is the young boys out here, they're like this. You get that? Man, fuck it, nigga. I'm about to take that shit. And
that's the whole new era.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's how they are now. Right. That's what I'm trying to say. Like now they're like, because they don't want to work for the shit now. Like
everybody just
back then niggas was working for the shit.
Yeah.
Now niggas don't want to work for it. They want this shit easy. So now they gonna take your shit and then they gonna try to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, with that.
I mean, and the main thing is because they don't got no OGs like we had growing up, guiding them, teaching them the way.
Don't pull that thing unless you're gonna really use it.
We talked about this. There's a lot of people that's doing that. Like,
don't pull it out unless you're gonna use it.
I got a gun and you ain't doing nothing with it.
It's some flashy shit. You know what I mean? Niggas ain't really using it. And then next
that's how niggas get caught up though.
Exactly.
They flashing.
Yep.
They flashing.
Yeah, certain people like somebody like me. Like if I'm not pulling out no gun to show.
And then when you
do,
a real nigga ain't gonna. You won't even know.
Hold on, wait.
You ain't gonna even know until it's over.
Right.
See the whole
thing. A real nigga.
I'm not pulling out so you can see what I got.
Is that you flashing,
and you can hang with this nigga for months.
Mm-hmm.
Then you won't even know. That's some real one. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Exactly. Then when you do something,
you don't more like that no more.
It's like now they know what the fuck your shit look like. Cause you're flashing, nigga.
No, man, I come from an era like
they know what's in the gun. They know what type of bullets your gun taking.
Motherfuckers jumping my whip.
So now you do something with it. Now, all right. Well, you know, for real, I'm gonna tell you something. The government got control all this shit. So you post this shit on social media. Under that, all they gotta do is pull that shit up real quick. They gotta put it. Listen, we seen you.
I paid my dues.
We ain't seen you, but
society. I did what I did. I mean, I did all that. All that shit is over and done with. But I'm just saying, it's okay to speak about your mistakes that you did. It is okay to let the folks know how it was, how our struggle was. You know what I mean? Growing up,
and that's
it ain't our fault that we adapted to society. It ain't our fault that we was brought up in a hood like this. You know what I'm saying? That was our way of getting money. Also, real shit. Like if you that was to this day, it's still a way out through that. People are getting out the hood because of that. So that's a positive thing. You know what I mean? A negative turned into a positive.
I mean, I don't promote it because it's not for everybody. It's really not for everybody. Everybody can try to do it, you know, and some people will make it, and some people get greedy, and they don't want to get out of it.
You know what happens, though? Like, if you think that it only comes from the hood, bro, no, we ain't start this shit. You know what I'm saying? The higher-ups did. I mean, not to make it a racial thing, but you know who started this shit. They could stop the flood if they wanted to, but no, we're not the only ones doing it. We just trying to benefit from it.
I mean, when you know that people, you know that jail is like the #1 business in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they gonna keep.
They make the most money.
Check.
They make the most money.
You a check, bro. The longest
most money.
Yeah, they want you to. They want you to do your thing.
There's real talk where they say, because once you in the system, you stay.
And you ever notice when they bust you, they don't never want to bust you on some quick shit. They want to wait and have all this paperwork on you, and have all this stuff on you. Yeah. So when they bust you, you ain't coming home. And then, you know, we running out of time. My whole thing is, okay, so we know about the streets. We know all the negative things about the streets. We know all these negative things.
How easy to fall into that type of lifestyle.
So how what's the message? How do we tell people to prevent this? Like, what are we telling the youth? What are we telling these people how to prevent this? The signs of
we can't stop them from going into the streets because it's out there.
All we can do
is out there every day.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that when it comes down to it, is your decisions really pace the path on where you're going, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? It comes down to the decisions that you make, bro. Okay. You know what I mean? You just got to make the right decision. Sometimes every decision ain't the right decision. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But you got to make the safe decision. Sometimes you got to, be the better man and be the better person and turn away from something. It ain't all about ego. You know what I mean? It's all about decision. You know what I mean? So if you make the right decisions and you ain't all about your ego and you ain't, you know what I mean? And you just about, life and love and make sure you have a family and legacy, then you're definitely going to be on the right path.
I feel like people don't think about that until one, they actually have a family, or two, they hit a certain maturity. They're like, damn, I got something to live for. Like, life is deeper than me.
I mean, I do.
Everybody
I wish they did, because that was kind of an awakening for me. Mm-hmm. But that really don't happen to a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And I had a lot of eye-opening awakenings when coming to the streets. Okay. You know what I mean? It's definitely more than one. And it comes to the point where you just get tired of it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Something needs to change. Okay. You know what I mean? For real. So you either about that whole life to the end, or you want something a little more better.
So basically you're saying at the end of the tunnel, it's nothing there from hustling and being in the streets. It's nothing at the end of the tunnel but something negative.
No, I'm not saying there's nothing at the end of the tunnel, because people made it out of situations from the streets. Okay. And the only way sometimes to get out of the only way for most of these people to get out of these certain situations is through these streets. You know what I'm saying? So it depends how you really take it, bro, and really how you flip it. If you in the street game and you know what I'm talking about, to make it out, then big ups to you. You know what I mean? That do it right. You know what I mean? Don't get caught up because there's risk. Mm-hmm. Life is about risk. You need to take a risk. In order to succeed and do something, you definitely have to take a fucking risk, because it ain't gonna fucking fall on your hand. But if you following the whole streets type of lifestyle of it, there's definitely major risk and major losses. And if you have a family, you really got to consider on the next decision that you make, because you might just lose it all.
Right. I mean, I feel as though it's and
so I said that drunk as fuck.
I feel as though it's hard to, not like once you in the streets, to get out of the streets, because when you get some money, the first thing somebody in the streets is going to tell you to do is invest that into some type of drugs or something negative, versus somebody in your ear telling you like, yo, I mean, you did it. I did it for a little bit. Let's
in order to make more of it, to make more money of it,
and let's get out of it though. Like that's
never. You don't barely hear that.
Yeah, it's like it's always somebody in your ear telling you to keep going negative.
Exactly,
and there's nobody in your ear.
You don't hear like, look, make this much so you get the fuck about it,
and you don't never got to do that again.
That's another part though.
Then you can hustle without, because the worst thing about hustling in the streets is worry about the cops. Then you got to worry about your ops.
Not only that. fuck the cops, because you get away from that. You do the worst case scenario, you do a bid, you still alive.
Right.
You gotta worry about your ops and the whole enemy that develops with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And then you don't even know you
can
get
you live
ops.
the rest of your life constantly looking over your shoulder?
No, nobody wants. I could, but nobody wants to live like that. Who
It's
wants
terrible.
to live like that?
It's a terrible way to live.
Exactly.
It's a terrible way to live. For real. No one should ever live like that. I mean, it's a terrible way. Whether it's ops or cops.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Fuck it. But you know, it comes to a point where where that shit comes across, you just gotta deal with it. Now, then, are you a man enough to deal with that? Now you done did the situation, and you did what you did. You got caught. You didn't really get make out. Now you gotta go and deal with that. Are you man enough to deal with that?
No.
Can you keep that same energy that
Are
you
we
had?
talking about this generation?
Yeah.
No, they can't even go to jail. They crying. You know, they're not tough without their guns. You know, it's in this generation, they can't do the crime and do the time. They want to do the crime and get away, and then
they do the crime and not even think about the time.
Exactly, like
they
do it. They do it not knowing like the law.
But the only thing that's different is the crime stays the same. The time changes.
Do you know any?
Just
You know anything
more
about the law?
of it.
You know anything about the law?
The law? Do I know anything about the law?
Do you know any laws?
Like no, like per se as code? No. Like
Just
know.
all right. So what about
I know you shouldn't break them.
What about do you know about the stop and frisk law?
Stop and frisk law where they can just stop you and frisk you?
Yeah.
Do that apply here in the state?
I don't know.
I do know about that, but I don't think that applies here.
What about driving? The cops pull you over and they tell you to get out your car.
Well, here we have a lifestyle.
Yeah.
They can't pull you over for any.
I'm talking
reason at all.
I'm talking about pull you out your car. Oh, can you?
Yeah.
There's no probable cause.
No probable cause.
No.
Just stop me for nothing.
It's called lifestyle. Yeah.
No.
What's I don't understand.
Yeah, listen. So with the
Regularly, they could just pull you the fuck over.
For what?
They can pull
Exactly.
you over, but they better have a valid reason.
That's what I'm saying. For what?
No,
What are we talking about right now, officer?
Listen. I'm gonna tell you.
What are we talking about?
It's called lifestyle.
No.
For a
I'm gonna tell
reason.
you. Listen.
It's called
I
lifestyle.
got pulled over one time.
And it's still
I got
active.
pulled over one time.
What are we
I
talking
got pulled
about?
over one time. I'm gonna tell you. Listen. I got pulled over
Cops
one
pulling
time.
you over.
I want to know what that conversation is like.
Listen, I'm about to tell you.
License and registration.
I'm about to
please?
tell you.
For what, officer?
I'm about to tell you.
Yeah, lifestyle.
I'm about to tell you. I got pulled over one time, right? Okay.
Me too. You know what they wrote about ticket?
And
Live fucking stop.
I ain't get no ticket. I'm gonna tell you why I ain't get no ticket. I'm gonna tell you why I ain't get no ticket. He comes up to the window. You know, he license registration. I'm like, oh, what'd you stop me for? He was stuttering. He started making up something. I'm like, he said, oh, your tail light out. No, it's not. It's on. Oh, when he had like, no, it's not. It's on. I got both of them on. You can see it. So what did you stop me for?
That's just Joe ass shit right
It's
there.
just they be so bored. They just want to stop me for any reason. Unless
they can't. They can fucking stop you for a crack on your bumper.
Listen, right? So then I go, so why do you need my license and registration? He was just stuck. I was like, well, if you don't mind, I got somewhere to be. So if you're not gonna give me a ticket,
is that the dumbest thing you ever got stopped for?
That's probably the.
What's the dumbest thing you ever got stopped for?
That's thing I ever got stopped for. Like that was just plain like.
What's the dumbest thing you ever got stopped for when it comes to stuff like that?
I never got pulled over by the cops or nothing. I don't even
the,
drive.
The dumbest thing I got stopped for.
That's probably the best thing you can do.
This the dumbest thing I got stopped for my tent, and it wasn't even that dark.
Window tint.
Yeah, and it wasn't even that dark. It was probably
that's probable cause.
It was probably like 20%.
I got
20%.
My dumbest shit.
No.
You can still see through that.
Exactly. That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
Hold on. Where was the tint? Was it the front shield?
No, it's the two. It's the driver's side and the passenger side.
They can pull you over for tint.
They can, but like it's not hard to see in there. It's only 20%.
Those black covers that go over your license tag.
Yeah.
Those little shaded colors.
Oh yeah.
I got pulled over that. And you know what the officer told me? He said, I got the same one on my car, but it's not as dark. How you got the same one on your shit and it's not as dark? He said, oh, we need to read your tags. You can read it. It's not dark. Why the fuck they sell this shit?
Not even that.
Why would I'm telling you, like, why would they sell this, officer, if it ain't legal? You know what I mean? And you just told me you got the same one on your car. We on 2nd Street arguing back and forth over the motherfucker still gave me a ticket. Somebody like, oh, I seen you behind me. You was following me for a minute. He was like, yeah, because I couldn't read it because your tag had a 10 on it. Like, no, it's a fucking tag cover, bro. Mm-hmm. He's like, no, they sell them lighter than that. I'm like, what the fuck you mean? He made a big deal about it. Like, you just said you had. That's by far the dumbest reason I ever got pulled the fuck over, bro.
At the end of the day, I feel
a fucking tag cover.
Don't. The best way to not get caught up
he
with
felt salty as shit because he had that on me. I mean, you gotta let me know.
The best way to not get caught up in street shit is just to not be in the streets. Just don't be in the streets.
But sometimes you got to. You have to.
Yeah, I mean, but you can get in and you can get out.
Some people get their meals for the street.
It's just not for everybody. And I don't recommend nobody getting it.
9 times out of 10. I mean, a lot of these kids, well, especially when I was my era,
it's more of a follow thing.
The streets.
It's more of a follow thing, though.
I mean, for real, it's like
I don't think nobody need it because
I'm about to say I don't think nobody need it. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why.
You need that.
Listen,
I don't think nobody needs.
I lost a lot of my niggas. And some of them I even saw in front of my face, which traumatizing all of this.
That's what I'm saying. That's nothing but trauma. Who needs that,
bro? But that comes along with that shit. And there's people that get out the street,
but it was a choice for you to go in the street.
Huh?
It was a choice.
What you mean it's a choice?
That's always a choice.
Life is all about choices. All right, I'm gonna tell you that right now. Life is all about choices.
What if you got no choice, bro?
Everything you do has a choice. There's no choice. There's
never
no
do it or
choice.
not.
It's either you do it or you don't. That's a choice.
No.
Yes.